Episode 148, Original Novel Soul Land do Luo de Lu. Subscribes, likes, and shares. Chapter 181. 5-Year Gap, 1-3. TL by Bagelson. Tang San, Xiao Wu, and Ma Hongjun had only just returned to Shrek Academy when they ran into the troublemaking Four Element Academies. At a glance, there were actually a lot of people they recognized. They included the former Godwind Academy team captain Feng Xiaotian, Blazing Academy's team captain Hua Wushuan and vice captain Hua Wu, Skywater Academy team captain Shui Binger, and the Dolphin Spirit Master she could cooperate with for a spirit fusion ability, Shui Yuer. There was also the Thunderclap Academy team captain, the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan's Yu Tianxin. And in charge of the Shrek Academy side were the three relatively high-level teachers Xiao Xin, Lu Jiban, and Li Yuzhong. Their expressions weren't too good, clearly they had gotten the worst of their exchange with the Four Element Academies. Ma Hongjun, Tang San, and Xiao Wu's appearance immediately attracted the attention of the Four Element Academies crowd on the other side. Ma Hongjun laughed out loud, saying, "I was just wondering who it was, so it's old friends. Why? Your loss against us back then wasn't convincing, so you came specially for a fight today." Feng Xiaotian was clearly the head of the Four Element Academy's delegation. When he saw Ma Hongjun he immediately showed a smile. "Long time no see, Ma Hongjun. Oh, Xiao Wu is here too. Where's the rest of you?" Seeing Ma Hongjun and Tang San return, Xiao Xin and the other teachers immediately heaved a sigh of relief. They didn't know about Xiao Wu, so her appearance didn't cause them any astonishment. Hua Wu's gaze fell on Xiao Wu. Seeing Xiao Wu holding Tang San's hand, she couldn't help but frown. She didn't recognize Tang San after his transformation, so inwardly her first thought was that Xiao Wu had fallen for someone else. Ma Hongjun snorted unhappily. "Feng Xiaotian, talk less nonsense. What have so many of you come to do at our Shrek Academy today? If it's for a fight, us brothers will welcome you, just step up." Feng Xiaotian didn't get angry because of Ma Hongjun's provocation, still smiling he said, "Our Four Element Academies have accepted the invitation of the Heaven Do Imperial family to move to Heaven Do City. Everyone's friends, so we're not here for any fight today. Even though we're somewhat unconvinced by our loss back at the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Tournament, we still wouldn't come quarreling. It's just that your Shrek Academy students insisted on believing we were here to fight. Nothing I could do. If you aren't here to pick a fight, then why barge into our academy, and even injuring the students on duty at the gate?" Someone in the Shrek Academy student crowd shouted. Feng Xiaotian frowned, saying, "That's only a misunderstanding, just some of our little juniors who were impulsive." "Misunderstanding? Then if we gave your students a beating, would that also count as a misunderstanding?" The crowd parted for two people walking hand in hand. Oscar and Ning Rongrong had just gotten the news, and immediately rushed over. When Fatty saw that the two of them had also come, he was immediately happy. The speaker was Oscar. Hua Wu snorted coldly. "If you're unconvinced, then we'll call the Shrek 7 Devils for a round. Whoever loses will apologize to the counterpart." When Feng Xiaotian saw Oscar he immediately shivered. Oscar's appearance hadn't changed, but that vicious knife scar on his face and his overall temperament had undergone a heaven and earth revolving change. Once he had been the most unassuming of the Shrek 7 Devils, but now Feng Xiaotian felt an intense threat from him. Oscar's aura absolutely wasn't something that could be gained from cultivation. Oscar was just about to agree when he suddenly felt Ning Rongrong tighten her grip on his hand. When he turned his head towards her, she had already released her grip on his hand and fiercely thrown herself forward. "Xiao Wu!" Shouting excitedly, Ning Rongrong flew forward like a swallow, fiercely embracing Xiao Wu, tears rising in her eyes. The vacant-eyed Xiao Wu was first alarmed by this hug, panic in her eyes. But her mood calmed very quickly, and she subconsciously raised her hands, returning Ning Rongrong's hug. Her big eyes blinking, her expression revealed some familiarity. Oscar now also saw Xiao Wu, and hurried over with big strides. Looking at Tang San with astonishment, he spoke softly, "Little San, what's going on?" "Xiao Wu is." Tang San used a voice only the few of them could hear. "I obtained a heavenly material and earthly treasure by coincidence." After feeding it to Xiao Wu, her body was restored to human form. She should be completely separated from her animal form. Just her body. She still has no soul, only some instinctual reactions. When Ning Rongrong heard this, her tears immediately flowed from her eyes. Looking at Tang San, she said, "Third brother, don't feel sad. This is a good start. Since her body can recover, her soul will definitely too." Tang San nodded resolutely. "I have no doubt about that. All right, let's deal with the problem in front of us first, don't let outsiders joke about us." Ning Rongrong's reaction clearly astonished the Four Element Academy's people. Huo Wu couldn't help saying, "What? Are you Shrek Seven Devils afraid of fighting?" Oscar snorted coldly. "You say how you want to fight, and we'll accept." Feng Xiaotian smiled. "I'm delighted. It seems your Shrek Seven Devils aren't complete. Daimyo Bai, Tang San, and Zhu Zuqing aren't here. We won't take advantage of you. We'll also use 4 people to fight you. What do you say?" Oscar looked at Tang San, giving him an inquiring look. Tang San shook his head to him, saying, "3 people. Xiao Wu needs someone to look after her." Oscar turned to Feng Xiaotian. "We'll make it 3 against 3. Feng Xiaotian looked at Xiao Wu, and also discovered something was wrong with her. The current Xiao Wu was undoubtedly even more beautiful than 5 years ago, but her empty eyes as well as Ning Rongrong's previous reaction, told Feng Xiaotian that she was somewhat abnormal. Turning his head to consult the Four Element Academy group, Feng Xiaotian, Huo Wu, and Huo Wushang walked out. Actually, in terms of strength, Shui Bing'er and Shui Yu'er spirit fusion ability, drifting ice and snow, was a bit more powerful than the Huo siblings, but they couldn't cooperate with the strongest Feng Xiaotian. Therefore, they chose such a combination. Tang San rubbed Xiao Wu's head, whispering, "Xiao Wu, you stay with Rongrong, I'll be right back." "All right." As he spoke, he tried releasing Xiao Wu's hand, placing it in Ning Rongrong's grip. Xiao Wu naturally couldn't answer him, and at the beginning she was somewhat hesitant, but when Ning Rongrong held her hand and looked at her with teary eyes, her somewhat restless mood calmed. Clearly, she subconsciously wanted to be close to Ning Rongrong. Tang San heaved a sigh of relief, nodding to Ma Hongjun and Oscar. "Let's go." The 6 people faced each other in the middle of the space. Huo Wu looked at Tang San, immediately showing an expression of loathing. "We want to fight your Shrek 7 devils, not some hired help." Even Tang San didn't understand. Huo Wu's expression was actually aimed at him. Seeing him and Xiao Wu together, Huo Wu secretly grew indignant on Tang San's behalf. Ma Hongjun laughed out loud, saying, "Didn't you come to challenge our Shrek Academy? You'll clearly see whether there's hired help in a moment." Tang San looked at Feng Xiaotian, and their gazes collided in the air. Feng Xiaotian couldn't help being astonished, because what he saw was Tang San's blue eyes without a hint of wavering. It seemed as if the handsome youth in front of him didn't have a shred of spirit power. Tang San calmly said, "Brother Feng, long time no see. Since everyone's come to my Shrek Academy this time, it shouldn't be shooting in the dark. Before we begin, won't you first explain it?" Feng Xiaotian shocked said, "You know me? Sir is." In his impression, how could there be a person with Tang San's appearance? Tang San smiled slightly. "We haven't met for 5 years, the changes really are large. No wonder everyone doesn't recognize me. I'm Tang San." "What? You're Tang San?" Huo Wu looked at him with shock, her eyes wide. Tang San nodded to Huo Wu. By chance, my appearance changed a bit, it's no wonder everyone doesn't recognize me. With the Tang sect about to be established, even if Tang San wouldn't go announce his identity to the world, he had still decided he wouldn't hide anything. The current relationship between the two great empires and Spirit Hall was delicate, and the two great imperial cities was where the imperial families held the most sway. Here, even Spirit Hall couldn't easily be rash. Even if Spirit Hall's people learned he was here now, as long as he didn't leave Heaven Do City, his safety could basically still be guaranteed. Moving against him absolutely wasn't so easy. Feng Xiaotian, Huo Wu, and Huo Wushuan looked at each other. With their experience they really couldn't understand how someone's appearance and temperament would change so much, but neither Oscar nor Ma Hongjun was refuting him, so clearly he was telling the truth. Feng Xiaoshan's expression very quickly returned to normal. We now all hold office at our respective academies. Since everyone are friends, I won't hide it from you. This time the four element academies have obtained the guarantee of the Heaven Do imperial government, and decided to move to Heaven Do City. Even if we're not completely optimistic about the difference in strength between the two great empires and Spirit Hall, if the Spirit Master world really only had one giant, it wouldn't be a good thing for us Spirit Masters, even more with the recent example of the Blue Lightning Tyrant Dragon Clan. Our four element academies are like siblings, that's why we decided to join together to move into Heaven Do City. And Shrek Academy is reputed as the #1 academy in Heaven Do. We're a bit envious of your reputation, and we're also very fond of your place here. This place is so large, so we want to move in as well. This time we came to negotiate. Just that Dean Flender, Grand Master, and the others aren't here. But exchanging pointers with you is pretty good too. Ma Hongjun snorted, saying. What you say might sound pleasant, but isn't it just coming to occupy our space? Wishing is fine, but with us here, don't wish for too much. Of course, if you want to be annexed by our Shrek Academy, we won't have any objections. Damned fatty, you're farting. Huo Wu's fiery temper hadn't changed a bit. Hearing Ma Hongjun's words, she immediately grew angry. Ma Hongjun disdainfully raised his head. If you don't accept it, come at me. Huo Wu was just about to flare up, but was stopped by Feng Xiaoshan's hand, and only snorted resentfully. Feng Xiaotian said. 5 years have passed. Tang San, I also want to see how much progress you've made. Come, how about we exchange pointers? Tang San's heart twitched, saying. Wait a moment. Brother Feng, the four element academies sent you to negotiate, does that mean that you can act on behalf of the four element academies? The so far silent to the side Huo Wuxiang said. After the four element academies decided to merge, because of Xiaoshan's outstanding talent, he was made vice dean as an exception to the rules. He has the authority to represent the academies in the negotiations. Tang San nodded, looking at Feng Xiaotian with a smile. Then how about this? If we win the fight today, then the four element academies may no longer make plans on our academy. Of course, as long as you remain in Heaven Do City due to opposing Spirit Hall, we'll still be allies. The smile on Feng Xiaoshan's face disappeared, his gaze suddenly turning strict. In other words, you're very confident in yourself. Tang San sighed, making it clear. Brother Feng, if you don't dare accept my challenge today, then, you'll never be able to surpass me in your whole life. Feng Xiaotian knew Tang San was right. He had already lost to Tang San, and if he hesitated because of the academies today and didn't accept Tang San's challenge, then, when he met Tang San again in the future, he would have an even harder time to resist. Seeing Feng Xiaoshan's hesitant appearance, Tang San suddenly smiled. His smile was very gentle, but filled with confidence. This might be better. I alone will learn from the three of you. If I lose, I'll accept any penalty. If I win, then please have the four element academies retreat in regards to Shrek Academy in the future. This time, Not only were the Huo siblings angry, even the always even-tempered Feng Xiaotian couldn't stand it. Huo Wu angrily said. Well said, Tang San. In the 5 years since we met, you've actually become so arrogant. Xiaotian, agree to it. I want to see what kind skill he has to face the 3 of us at once. Tang San, you'll accept any penalty if you lose, you said so yourself. Even if I have you become my slave. Tang San said calmly. As long as you have the skill to beat me. Oscar frowned. Even he thought Tang San was a bit excessive. Feng Xiaoshan's trio were after all people with outstanding strength in their generation. Even if they couldn't compare to Spirit Hall's golden generation, they still had the chance to become titled Doluo. Especially Feng Xiaotian. Back then he had been no small trouble for Tang San. The 3 had also cooperated for years. With Tang San's strength alone, could he really contend with them? But Ma Hongjun's way of thinking was completely different from Oscar's. Having personally seen Tang San defeat the 82nd ranked pure attack type spirit Doluo Yang Wudi, he had profoundly experienced just how frightening Tang San had become. Even though these 3 were strong, they perhaps still couldn't compare to Tang San in spirit power. Even if they cooperated, it would still be very difficult to threaten Tang San. Feng Xiaotian shouted loudly. Fine, since it's like this, we'll bet on this fight. Tang San, if you lose I won't bother you. Just make a great effort for the strength of our 4 element academies in the future. Oscar still wanted to say something, but was pulled back by Ma Hongjun. Everyone had been brothers for many years, and Oscar understood a great many things from Ma Hongjun's expression. The worry in his heart also dropped considerably. Even though it was 3 against 1, Feng Xiaotian still didn't dare underestimate Tang San. Back then in the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Tournament, Tang San had created too many miracles. He didn't want the 3 of them to become the target of another of Tang San's miracles. Feng Xiaotian gave a long somewhat sharp whistle, a layer of faint cyan light surging from within his body. His body clearly changed along with the cyan light rushing out, his muscles and bones swelling up with the sound of popping bones, his stature clearly growing enormous. His long hair was also rendered cyan, and astonishingly, on his left shoulder, grew a wolf head representative of his spirit. The cyan wolf head's gaze was ice cold as it stared at Tang San, constantly releasing trace after trace of chill. That was his spirit, Stormwind double-headed wolf. At this moment, Tang San immediately understood why the 4 element academies would choose Feng Xiaotian as vice dean. Because, around him, appeared a neat 6 spirit rings. Spirit Emperor, he was unexpectedly also a Spirit Emperor. In fact, back when Feng Xiaotian participated in the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Tournament, he was already 24 years old. Spirit Masters grew fastest before 20, but even being past that, he had unexpectedly risen to the 60th rank in a few short years, that showed how much effort he had invested. Even if his spirit power level had been higher than Tang San and the others back then, in fact, the difficulty to advance was also higher than for the Shrek 7 Devils. Tang San was also a Spirit Emperor, and moreover already had extremely formidable spiritual force. He could clearly sense that Feng Xiaotian should have only just obtained the spirit ring to advance. But even so, to be able to reach this level at the age of 29, he was quite amazing. Huo Wu looked at the astonishment in Tang San's eyes, and couldn't help feeling pleased. Together with her big brother Huo Wushuan, she also released her spirit. 2 yellow, 2 purple, 1 black, the levels of the 2 siblings were exactly the same. They were both 50th ranked Spirit Kings. A strong fire element aura rushed out, the intense heat stirring the atmosphere revealing their formidable strength. Feng Xiaotian saluted Tang San slightly. 61st level agility attack type Spirit Emperor. Huo Wu proudly said. 54th ranked control type Spirit King. She wasn't pride for herself, but for Feng Xiaotian. In these years, the gap between her and Feng Xiaotian had already pulled open. She was always together with Feng Xiaotian, and clearly also knew how painstakingly Feng Xiaotian had cultivated. In order to cultivate, Feng Xiaotian had lived for more than 2 years in a valley where hurricanes formed every day, enduring the frightful hurricane storm winds each day. In order to have his present success, he had invested enormous effort. Huo Wushuan said. 53rd ranked agility attack type Spirit King. Watching the 3 opponents in front of him, the astonishment in Tang San's eyes gradually faded, replaced by serenity. Even if he didn't know just how Feng Xiaotian had cultivated, he could also imagine that each spirit master had their own fortunes. Feng Xiaotian had inevitably also paid enormous effort to have the accomplishments he did today. But, could Tang San have paid any less than him? No, of course not. Huo Wu looked somewhat resentfully at Tang San. What? Are you planning to concede now? Still not revealing your spirit? Tang San glanced at her. Honestly, he wasn't too fond of Huo Wu's character, she was too forceful and overbearing, but he had to admit that she was better being true to her nature than a great many hypocrites. Raising his right hand, his spirit suddenly releasing. Sooner or later people would know about it, and in front of the crowd of Shrek Academy students, Tang San had decided as early as when he agreed to confront the 3 that he wouldn't hide his 100,000-year spirit ring any longer. Xiao Wu's resurrection had also softened those harsh thorns in his heart somewhat. If he should confront someone he would, pressure was equally a kind of driving force. He wouldn't stupidly go look for Spirit Hall right now, but neither did he plan to hide anything. If he was suppressed by Spirit Hall even here in Heaven Do City, then he would never have any chance to confront them. Of course, it wouldn't be so easy for Spirit Hall to grasp his whereabouts. After reporting to Flender, Grandmaster and the others over here, Tang San and the others would immediately secretly enter the Strength Clan, that is, their Tang sect. That was their true hiding place, and everything about the Tang sect was what had to be kept secret the most right now. The crystalline blue-silver grass seemed even more dazzling under the noonday sun, the close to transparent spirit radiating countless dazzling lights, those 6 spirit rings signifying strength appearing in an instant, yellow, purple, black, and red complementing each other, making Tang San seem like a deity descended from the heavens. Feng Xiaotian and the others' eyes were dazzled by the light. As they saw the color of Tang San's 6th spirit ring, their expressions grew marvelous, and the surrounding spectating students and teachers also instantly grew completely silent. 66th rank, Control Type Spirit Emperor. Please. Tang San's deep voice roused the 3 opponents across from him. At this moment, they truly understood why Tang San unexpectedly had the courage to fight the 3 of them simultaneously. Strength, absolute strength. This is impossible. Huo Wu looked at Tang San, not daring to believe her eyes. She had always believed that, after 5 years of effort, at least Feng Xiaotian would be able to pull open the distance from Tang San. After all, Tang San's spirit was only blue-silver grass. But at this moment, she found that while there was indeed a distance, the one pulling ahead wasn't them. After 5 years, today Tang San used his strength to show them that the championship the Shrek 7 Devils obtained in the Continental Advanced Spirit Master Academy Elite Tournament back then was fame naturally following merit. Tang San faintly swept his gaze across Xiao Wu. Actually, even if Xiao Wu hadn't sacrificed herself, his strength would still be above Feng Xiaoshan's. He had endured much in these 5 years, but he had also obtained the corresponding awards. Please. Tang San made a second inviting gesture. The blue-silver grass surrounding him fluctuated slightly, his palm waving a bit, and countless blue-silver grass milled towards the trio. Feng Xiaotian was first to react, instantly accelerating and dashing straight at Tang San, cyan light leaving a long shadow behind him, his speed incomparably fast. Wolf claws popping out of both hands swung along with his first spirit ring glittering, and several dozen sharp wind blades seemed to instantly erupt and spin out in all directions, forcefully blocking the blue-silver grass in front of Tang San. In the 5 years since they met, Feng Xiaoshan's strength really had progressed a lot. It was the same first spirit ability, but the power it produced was entirely different. Only, Feng Xiaoshan's wind blades still just relied on force of impact to move away Tang San's blue-silver emperor, unable to harm them. The blue-silver emperor scattered in all directions immediately covered an even larger area, and seemed even more dazzling in the sunlight. Huo Wu and Huo Wushuan moved simultaneously, Huo Wushuan giving an explosive shout. His attack power increasing overall after Fire Dragon Spirit Body Enhancement. Charging straight at Tang San with large steps, roaring, tyrannical flames already condensing on his fists covered with dragon scales. He hadn't forgotten that Tang San's blue-silver emperor was immune to fire, and therefore he didn't issue his flame externally, but rather condensed it within his fists, giving his fists even greater burst power. A flame shadow rose behind Huo Wu, flames like specks of starlight starting to condense above her head. They had always cultivated together over these years, and knew each other extremely well, basically able to grasp the intervals between each spirit ability without communicating, without revealing any gaps. Tang San didn't use any spirit abilities, just taking one step sideways, several dozen strands of blue-silver emperor swinging, sealing Feng Xiaoshan's steps forward. Even with Feng Xiaoshan's strength, he would inevitably be stopped for a moment before the blue-silver emperor, and Tang San exploited this moment to instantly accelerate, both fists rising simultaneously, directly meeting Huo Wushuan. A control-type spirit master unexpectedly wanted to go fist against fist, colliding head-on with power attack type Huo Wushuan. Huo Wushuan naturally wouldn't retreat. With an explosive shout, his fire element-infused fists struck straight at Tang San. The instant their fists collided, there was an explosive sound. Huo Wushuan thought inwardly, even if you're stronger than me, you'll still never be able to compete with me where you're the weakest and I'm the strongest. But, when the four fists collided, Huo Wushuan's expression immediately changed. He clearly felt that Tang San's fists were as solid as iron, so solid that the effect of the flames erupting from his fists completely disappeared. An immense pressure came from straight ahead. Both his fists ached simultaneously. Immediately afterward, his body flew backward uncontrollably. And at the same time, Tang San's fourth spirit ring abruptly flashed, blue-silver prison appearing. Just one blue-silver prison, but its target was the one who had now pushed away the blue-silver emperor to swiftly charge towards him, Feng Xiaotian. Abruptly trapped, Feng Xiaotian scratched at the blue-silver emperor with all the strength of his wolf claws, but he discovered to his shock that, while it was the same blue-silver prison, the durability of the blue-silver emperor facing him was an unknown amount more durable than the previous blue-silver grass. Cutting with all his might, he actually only left behind a shallow mark. Tang San basically didn't even glance in Feng Xiaoshan's direction. Staggering one step, he was already pursuing the backwards tumbling Huo Wushuan. His right shoulder lowering forward, he directly struck Huo Wushuan's chest. At the same time, two strands of blue-silver grass twisted around Huo Wushuan's waist, forcefully pulling towards him. Huo Wushuan was after all the former Blazing Academy team captain, and naturally he wasn't so easy to deal with. But both his arms ached, and he couldn't block with his full power. With a loud shout, his third and fourth spirit ring brightened one after another, surging fire element explosive force blasting out with him as the center. At the same time, claws grew from his hands, and his body grew larger once again, the scales erupting with golden red light, his whole body flourishing with power. This third spirit of his, similar to Daimyo Bai's White Tiger Vajra transformation, instantly increased his power to its peak. With a pu sound, a circle of strong firelight appeared in front of Tang San, his advance changing to shooting backwards. That was Huo Wu's defying flame ring. And now Feng Xiaoshan's fourth spirit ability also abruptly erupted, 1.5 chi long sharp blades ejecting from between the knuckles on either hand, an illusory wolf image appearing behind him. Spreading his hands out to either side, 3-meter long cyan lines of light shooting from the 6 sharp blades, finally tearing the blue-silver prison in front of him. In fact, this fourth spirit ability of his erupted completely, but Tang San's blue-silver prison was originally a crowd control spirit ability. Forcing him to use the attack of his fourth spirit ability against only one, showed just how terrifying the durability of the blue-silver emperor was. Only, Tang San had in the end still been launched back by Huo Wu's defying flame ring, and Feng Xiaoshan's trio gathered together again. Feng Xiaotian took advantage of his fourth spirit ability still not having ended, putting his palms together over his head, intense cyan light leaving the claws, chopping straight at Tang San. The instant the cyan light chopped out, the air surrounding Tang San distorted violently, blocking his ability to block to the sides and forcing him to take it head-on. Cold light flashed in Tang San's eyes, an aggressive thought born in his heart, what about taking it on? Ice-cold killing intent abruptly turned substantial, surging white light fusing into extremely violent aura and surging out, in a split second turning into a white point and meeting Feng Xiaoshan's fourth spirit ability straight on. Feng Xiaotian hadn't seen any of Tang San's spirit rings light up, and just as he was wondering where this ability came from, that white light and the cyan light he chopped out came into contact, but unexpectedly didn't cause any collision, but rather pierced straight through and had already reached him in an instant. In shock, Feng Xiaotian couldn't mind his spirit power, his whole body once again exploding with cyan light, hurriedly blocking for all his life. But, that white light quietly rushed inside, directly shocking his body. The Death God Domain's evolved ability, Death God Assault, this was in itself an ability similar to a spiritual attack, and naturally wouldn't conflict with his energy attack. But since Feng Xiaotian wasn't sufficiently prepared for the Death God Assault, he instantly seemed to have fallen into an ice house. Within that insane and ruthless killing intent, he only felt as if his body was a tiny boat that could collapse at any moment. Spirit power madly flooding his body, fighting spirit falling in a straight line, he retreated a few steps with a pale complexion. And because of having lost his control, that line of cyan light disappeared before even reaching Tang San. Lifting the siege by attacking the source, Tang San used one of the simplest methods to dissolve Feng Xiaoshan's attack. Xiaotian, are you all right? Huo Wu held Feng Xiaoshan's shoulder with one hand, infusing her own spirit power within him. They had always been together in these years, and their relationship had long ago been confirmed, they just hadn't married yet. Hearing Huo Wu's voice, Feng Xiaoshan's immediately roused his mind, keeping his fighting spirit from collapsing, sharply biting his tongue and gathering his thoughts. Loosing a long breath, his face revealed fear. So fearsome. 3 against 1, but so far in the fight, it was the side with more people who were at a disadvantage. Feng Xiaoshan's trio couldn't help being somewhat disappointed at this. But, they were still outstanding team battle spirit masters since long ago, and naturally wouldn't be defeated like this. Expressions growing serious, Huo Wu nodded to Feng Xiaotian, pressing on towards Tang San together with Huo Wushuan, and Feng Xiaoshan's second and third spirit rings flashed simultaneously. A pair of giant cyan wings extended from Feng Xiaoshan's back, and at the same time, a cyan illusion condensed behind him, that was the likeness of the storm-wind double-headed wolf. Set off by that huge dazzling image, Feng Xiaotian soared up, drawing support from the wind and, with just one flap of his wings, he shot towards the sky, rising at least 50 meters. Watching this familiar scene, Tang San couldn't help displaying a faint smile at the corners of his mouth. Back then, hadn't Feng Xiaotian gotten the worst of it under his hands using just this ability? Why, did he want to use old skills to repeat old results? Huo Wushuan had already charged, and countless condensed flame meteors also flew towards Tang San just like chasing the moon along with Huo Wu's fifth spirit ring brightening. Her flame meteors seemed a bit similar to Ma Hongjun's fifth spirit ability, just a lot fewer. But this spirit ability still couldn't be underestimated, because each flame meteor shooting forward contained extremely potent explosive force. Even without considering the flame element, they were still enough to cause a frightening attack. Huo Wushuan's fifth spirit ring also brightened. Roaring, a 5-meter-long huge fire dragon rose around him, circling around him and charging at Tang San. 1-3 of the teachers at the original Shrek Academy. This part ends here. Subscribes and comments your thoughts. Thank you. Smile.